So this is my Trading 212 account. I opened it earlier in the year. I used to be a Vanguard, but since Vanguard have opened or started charging a new fee, it made sense to move to Trading 212 as it's basically free. So I transferred my current balance from Vanguard into here, um, and that was I did about £100 a month for a couple of years. And since sort of March, April this year, I've been moving £250 a month, which you'll see from my budgeting videos. So since I started in trading 212, which has been a few months, you can see the rate of return is at 7.4%, which is an extra £277. So let's go down to see where my investments are. I've got two. I've got the Vanguard FTSE All World Accumulated Fund. Accumulated fund means that any returns are invested back in, so you compound on those returns. So that's going all right. And then the other thing is just a small amount of the money I put into my stocks and shares ISA is £50 into this data center pie. I see data centers as a really interesting industry. So that's made up of a few different data center companies or companies that are linked to data centers. So £50 a month, I pop in there, and currently it's showing as an 9.8% return so far. So there's not much more to show, in all honesty, on the stocks and shares ISA. Just that I'm going to continue putting £250 a month in. I'm going to review that every few months and maybe start putting more in. But the idea of this stocks and shares ISA is a low cost index fund, which is a pretty traditional strategy from most people. Just to, I guess, build up that fire fund. So I see this as a bridge between when my pension kicks in and when I want to, I guess, quit work or reduce my work to something else. And this will give me an income at that point. Now, if we plug that number into a compound interest calculator, we can see what it'd be worth in a few years. So I've taken the amount from the Trading 202 account and popped it in the initial investment. I've changed the interest rate to 7.4%, which is, ambitious, but that's what it says at the moment. And 15 years. If I continue £250 a month and increase by 3% with inflation a year, at the end of those 15 years, my investments plus interest will be 111,000, and half of that's coming from interest earned. If I were to increase to £1,000 per month, the total would be just over 400,000, with 179,000 coming from interest. So that works out pretty well. You can do the 4% roll to work out how much you can withdraw. If I wanted to bring it down to 10 years, you can see the difference. It's almost half the investment, or half the returns, just coming from a 5-year period. And I'm just popping in the interest rate there to bring it down to 5%. Comes to 333,000. So this is the My Aviva app. I've got a workplace pension scheme that's through Aviva. We recently moved the workplace pension scheme from Aegon to Aviva. The app's way better, and there's generally a better range of funds available. So this is my pension. I've got £61,877.80, and this is all my pension savings through my whole life. I only started investing in a pension when auto enrolment came into the UK in about 2012. So I started off back then, so 13 years of saving is just under £62,000. And I've transferred recently all the different pots that I've built up in different workplace schemes into this one My Aviva account. Just makes it easier to manage, but there's also a really low annual management fee. It's 0.23%, which is similar to most online ETF programs with something like Vanguard. So it's invested in a default fund that has a lifestyling element. So as you get older, it starts moving out of equities and into bonds and cash. I'm going to change that, but I can't do it at the moment because I'm currently doing the transfer in process from those other pension schemes. But once it's done, the value isn't going to change that much. And then I can change the default fund. I'm going to go for probably 100% equities. I'll do a video on that when I've done it. But here's my pension. I get an employer contribution. It shows that they're at £944. That's mine and my employer's contribution. So that's my workplace pension and trading 212 account update for July. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do me a favor with the algorithm. Not that's what I'm into. Just interesting to know. If you give it a like and subscribe, and you can follow along in the future. Cheers.